Hi everyone. At Solo.io, we are very proud to announce the availability of Gloo Mesh Enterprise Beta with a nice Wasm integration. I really think it's an important step to allow people to easily build, push, and deploy their Envoy filter that they can write in multiple language and package with WebAssembly, and then just use them on Istio either for north-south traffic or east-west traffic. So before I jump into the demo, I'll just cover this blog post that has been published in September by Christian and Yuval. That is really nice post. I really recommend you read it, and it will allow you to understand what is WebAssembly, how it has been integrated with Envoy, what is the current state of it. You have multiple languages you can use, multiple SDKs available so that you can write your filters. There is assembly script, C++, Rust, TinyGo. I think it's really important you understand the way it works. For example, you cannot just use the HTTP library you're used to use in these languages. Here it's really you have to tell Envoy to send the HTTP request for you. And also these different languages that you can use, they don't have all the features, all the packages you would expect to. Some of them don't have a regex package, the other one doesn't have another capability. So it's important that you define first your use case, what filter you want to build, then you look at these different SDKs and find the one that makes sense based on your use case and based on your requirements. And as soon as you decide that, then we take care of everything else. And you will see that in the demo, we just make your life easier. So the only real decision you have to make at the beginning is which SDK you will use. Then you have a lot of information about the state of WebAssembly and Envoy. Obviously, it's still quite early, but it has been merged upstream in Envoy, and you can really start to build your filters today, and hopefully you'll be able to use them in production very soon. And to also make your life easier, we have some components that I will show you in the demo that are in Gloo Mesh Enterprise, but there is also this critical component which we call the WebAssembly Hub that we launched some time ago already. And it's kind of like a Docker Hub, but for WebAssembly filters. It's really convenient, and we will leverage that as well in the demo. So let's start. So here we have a Gloo Mesh Enterprise deployed. We have basically three Kubernetes clusters. One where we have Gloo Mesh Enterprise running that we consider as a management cluster. It could be running in one of the clusters where we have Istio, but it's just a best practice to do that way. Then we have two Kubernetes clusters where Istio has been deployed. The traditional book info app is there, and you can see the only difference is that I have only V1 and V2 and the reviews in the first cluster, and I also have V3 on the second cluster. So here I'm going to focus on WebAssembly, but just before I'll do a quick demo about this multi-cluster traffic, which is also one of the nice things you get with Gloo Mesh. Just so that you have a quick overview of one of the nice feature of it, and then I'll jump in the WebAssembly thing. So if I just here look at my cluster, and if I put the IP address of my first cluster, I should be able to see my product page with black stars, which is V2 of reviews, and no stars, which is V1. So one of the nice capabilities you get with Gloo Mesh is that you can easily now allow some of the traffic to go to the other site. And I just do that here by creating what we call a traffic policy. You see it's very easy to express. You say when request goes to the review, service on cluster 1, I want to send like 75% of the requests on reviews v3 on cluster 2 and 15% locally on v1 and 10% locally on v2. So you see, really straightforward to define a policy for multi-cluster traffic. You just create this policy very easily, and if you go there and refresh, you'll see most of the time you'll get like the red stars, which means v3. You see, very straightforward, very easy to define. Then you can go there, you can see the policy you just created, and you can see the workloads that are impacted by your policy. I won't go through all the details, obviously, but we also have this notion of access policy where we define which service is allowed to talk to which service, and then when the policy is created, you can go through the nice dashboard that comes with Gloo Mesh Enterprise, and you can see what are the current workload running in your cluster that are impacted by your policy. So again, it was really a quick overview of traffic policy and access policy so that you get the context. And then when everything is deployed, probably you start to want to customize a little bit, and you have like multiple use cases where it could make sense to use Wasm. You want to do something very specific. I don't know. When there is a request between service A and service B, you want to capture some metrics, but you want to capture some metrics only when there is this header in the request. Something very specific to your use case, and that you cannot expect the community to build for you. That's exactly why you would use Wasm. Or you could say, when the request goes from service A to service B, I want to send an HTTP call to another API so that I can enrich this request with some, I don't know, role information or whatever. So before we do that, I'll just like delete my policy to go back to a clean state, because I'm going to check and to add some headers exactly between these services. Okay, I'm deleting that, and you can see here that the policy is gone. And if I refresh my page, I'm back on the normal thing. So next step is I want to build my filter, and I decided that what makes sense for me is to use assembly script. So there is like an extension of the mesh CTL CLI that's called Wasm, and that really will make your life easier. So the first thing is about like being able to log in to the WebAssembly hub. So I will just log in with my credentials here. The next step is I decided to use WebAssembly scripts. So I need to do something like Wasm init, and I want to call it like my filter. And here I can choose, and depending on the language SDK you use, sometimes you have to specify which platform you want to use, because there is this notion of an ABI, and there are different versions of the ABI. Again, everything is explained in the blog post. So depending on the way the SDK has been built, you have to decide which ABI to use. So I have now that directory created, and I can take a look at the default example. Here the idea is not to customize it, because that would be like a full topic, but just to show you what is the hello world example we are going to use. You see, what we do basically is that we modify this onResponse header function, so that when we send the response headers, if there is like a specific configuration, we use it to say hello whatever we decide in this configuration. Otherwise we just say hello world. So okay, my code is ready. Normally obviously I would have changed it to accommodate what my use case, but then the next step is that I'm going to build it, so to compile my code in a WebAssembly binary. So I need to just tell it where to, what will be, it's like exactly like a Docker hub, so you just decide the name of your filter and the tag. So it will be 0.2 because I already have a 0.1, and I want to build here. So I made a mistake here. Yeah, just need to tell it which language I want to use, and the minus t. Yeah, then I will be fine. So it will build it for me. It will just take like a few seconds, and as you can imagine, it's exactly the same as with Docker. Next step would be to do like a push. So instead of doing a Docker push, I'll just do like a Wasm push with this name here that I used for the tag. So I just push it. I did my login before, so I can do it. And what I need to do is that to check that my filter has been applied, I need to, let me go back here. I need to send a request from the product page service to the review service. And you remember I have my service running in first cluster with V1 and V2. So I'm going to use this check service after, but let me show you how it works before. So I would get just the response headers that the product service gets when it calls the review service. And you see here there is nothing about hello world or hello something. So to apply my filter now, I can do it in a very nice declarative way, like you would normally do. You know, you want to put that in your GitOps approach, and put it like in your pipeline. So what I need here is a way to declaratively say I want to use this filter on this workload, and that's exactly what you are able to do with what we call this Wasm deployment CRD. And you see here I'm going to use version 0.2. I can pass some configuration information. It looks a little bit weird here, but it's just to give you flexibility so that you can pass string, but you could pass some other information like a better format and something more expressive. And here, very important, I need to set where I want to apply it. And you see it's a global thing. It's like everything in Gloo Mesh, like the traffic policy and all these things. I can say globally, okay, I want to apply this filter. This time it's only on cluster 1 for all the workloads running in the default namespace with this label app review and version v1. So I will just do like a kubectl context. It's my management cluster, and I'll just apply this Wasm filter. And now I can do a few things. So first of all, I could do look at the logs of my review service. Obviously, I need to tell it which one. So you see here, it has loaded my header. And now, if I call my check command again, sometime I will not see the hello world because obviously I have two versions and I just apply it to version 1. So here it's probably version 2 that get the response. And if I do that a few times, you see here I get this hello Gloo Mesh Enterprise beta because this is the configuration parameter I passed to my filter here. So very easy. I've been able to deploy that Wasm filter in production. And what's also very nice is that you can now as well go in the UI here and you can see what filters have been deployed. You can filter them, and what's really very nice is that you can say what are the current workloads that are running this filter. Because imagine when you created your definition here, perhaps you made a mistake here in what you selected, and you thought, for example, there was like only one service that was matching that, but perhaps there were like another one, there was another one, or there were like tons of them. And what's really nice in this UI is that you can also check, okay, that's fine, it just target one service, which is what I was expecting, and you can see the configuration and so on. So that was a brief overview. I hope it was useful, and obviously if you want to try it, just go to our website. You'll see here in product Gloo Mesh here, you can request a demo, you can request a trial somewhere, I think. Don't remember exactly where it is. Oh, it's here. You can register for the beta so that you'll get access to the binaries. Obviously, I encourage you as well to go to our blog. We have a lot of content here, like the one I've shown before. I encourage you to go to our YouTube channel. Again, a lot of nice videos to learn about our product, but also technologies like Envoy. And finally, I really encourage you also to go to this events page, because we have like many workshops, and we have like workshops on Gloo Mesh that are coming in January, the 21st of January, one for EMEA friendly time zone and one for US friendly time zone. So really encourage you to register here. We still have some space for the moment, so please do so. So hopefully it was helpful, and you'll be able to play with it and give us good feedback. Thank you.